Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Tuesday. And so today for our card, I thought it'd be fun to make a very fun fold. And this card you might have heard of called an infinity card. That's what I prefer to call it. Some people call it a never-ending card. It's not hard to make, and decorating it is, let's say it's up to your discretion. So any stamp set can be used to decorate it. I'm going to be using designer series paper from the mini catalog that is going to be expiring. It's going to be retiring here shortly. It's called Flowers and More. This paper is delightful, and it is in the back of the mini catalog, and so you've got a couple weeks left to get it. So if you would like to follow along, there are instructions. I am going to go kind of slow so that you can do screenshots, you can write things down, just so you can try to make this card in the future. And this is a card we're making, we made at my club this month, and so I think the girls enjoyed it, and I am going to be using a couple of in colors. I'm going to be using a 6x6 piece of polished pink. This is going to be retiring soon. And a 6x6 of Parakeet Party, which is in for another year. Okay, so these are the two cardstocks I'm going to be using. So if you want to cut some 6x6 cardstock, you can. Okay, you really need cardstock and not DSP for this part of it. Okay, use DSP to decorate it. Okay, so I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to be using Irresistible Blooms as my stamp set. I think it kind of coordinates well with the Flowers and More designer series paper. So let's get started. Okay, I am going to show you the simple scores that you need to make. So you'll need to make 2 scores on each of these designer series paper, and then you will need to cut each one of them once. Okay, so the first one is at 1.5. Okay, so you're going to use your, you need to be accurate here. So you're going to take 1.5, and then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to make 1.5 again. Okay, and then the other piece, the same thing. 1.5. Make sure I've got that at 1.5. And 1.5. Okay, now we need to make sure that we fold on those score lines using your bone folder. Okay, and this is where the accuracy comes in. You want to make sure that you don't have this buckle like I have right now. Okay, so I'm going to adjust this just a tad to make this work. You want these lined up perfectly in the center. Okay, so you don't want a gap and you don't want an overlap. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust that a little bit. I think that's pretty good. Just a little bit of an overlap on this edge. You want to just, if you're a little nervous about what I just did, and you're like, oh, I'm a little nervous about folding that, you can just score one and then bring the other one up and to meet it. Okay, and then the other one, let's see if it's going to be the same problem. I'm going to fold that, and then we're going to fold this in. And yes, there is a little bit of an overlap again. I don't know why. I guess maybe my paper was just under 6. I'm not sure. But accuracy is pretty important on this card. Okay, not like some of our cards where it's not as important. Still just a tad of an overlap. Try to adjust that on this side. There we go. I think that'll be better. Okay, so you get that nice even fold in the center. Okay, and if you have a little crooked here, you can trim that. It's always good to do that before you start. It eliminates frustration in the end. Okay, Now, the next thing we need to do is after we get these two pieces scored and folded, we are going to bring our paper trimmer back in, and this time we are going to cut. And these are 6 inches, so we're going to cut these at 3. So we're going to actually cut these in half. Now we're going to use the black blade, okay, so that we have 2 pieces. And we have, do this one the same way. So we have 2 of these, okay? Now we have our card base for our infinity card. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to lay these out. Okay, so we're going to lay these out like this. Make sure I get this right so I don't mess you up. Okay, so we're going to lay these like this. All right, and we're going to put some, I'm going to use tear and tape. You can use a liquid glue if you want, but I recommend tear and tape for this part. And I'm going to put 2 of these right on the top. 2 over here. You can do 1 or 2. 2 is going to hold extra nice. And then you're going to do 2 at the bottom. Same thing. Now you could use the same color cardstock. You don't have to use 2 separate colors. If you have a favorite color that you like and or you're using up paper that's retiring, go for it. Okay? All right. So we're done with that. Now, what we want to do now is we want to lay these on top. And these are going to be flipped up. Okay? So we want to take our tear and tape off. And if you burnish that on, it's easier to pick off. Trash over. Now we need to line these up perfectly. Okay. So make sure that that is in that corner, just like that. And then the same thing at the bottom. Okay. A little bit harder to line this one up because we have this other piece that's already attached. Okay. Okay, so it should look like that. Same thing on this side. Line that up in the corner. And in the corner. Okay, so what you have is this. Okay. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull this back like that, and you're going to make sure that those folds are nice and crisp. Okay, then you're going to fold it back this way, making sure that all of our folds are crisp, and then this way. Okay, so now we are ready to start decorating. Okay, so we're back to our original card. Okay. You can use, like I said, you can use any designer series paper. You don't need huge pieces, obviously. So this is 3 by 3, these squares. So you're going to need like 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So the first page I cut 2 pieces of this piece. Okay, so this is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then I cut 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. And these are going to be for there. So let's decorate the front of our card first. Okay, I'm going to use liquid glue because it holds super well. You can use regular adhesive if you like. Or you can use liquid glue. Center that in the square. Getting low. I have an extra one here if I need it. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere these. So these colors, of course, all coordinate really, really well This is Parakeet Party striped. It's really nice if you use, for your first time, use designer series paper that doesn't have a wrong or right way. Does that make sense? This paper is all, could go either way. Can go this way or this way. So just in case you adhere them in the wrong place, it won't matter. I love this stripe. And remember, try not to overdo the glue because it'll squish out, and I've had that happen maybe a time or two. Okay, now the next step is you're going to flip it open like that. Okay, now we need to decorate that. And what I chose for that is I thought it would be nice to start doing a little stamping. So I picked these 3 colors for my stamping. I have Polished Pink, Parakeet Party, and also Orchid Oasis. So Orchid Oasis is also an in color that's going to be around for another year. And then I have a little piece, I have a white piece that I thought would be nice to do some stamping. I have another piece of that stripe. And then I have some little pieces of Orchid Oasis. And these are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so I will be adhering those in these corners. But first I'm going to do some stamping. And as I said, I'm going to be using Irresistible Blooms. This is in my online store. This is not in a catalog, and you won't be able to find it in any catalog at any time. It's only going to be on the online store. Okay, and the 2 colors I'm going to use for this is Parakeet Party and Polished Pink. And I am going to stamp the flower. And some leaves. So this set has, it's actually obviously a red cling set, has 11 stamps in it. It also has the coordinating dies that are available. But I'm not going to use those today, just using the stamp set. And then I'm going to use these little dots just to fill in some extra space with these. Okay? All right. Close those so I don't stick my hand in them. Okay, so now I have this, and now I'm going to adhere. I had this. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere. Make sure I got this going the right way. Got this upside down to my eyes. Okay, I'm going to adhere this. Right here. And the stripe above. Okay, so these are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. If you just wanted to use DSP, you could certainly do that if you didn't want to do any stamping. Or if you wanted to do more stamping, you could stamp, 2 squares. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere these little squares. Just going to glue them all. Get them all ready. Easier that way than doing one at a time, so that the video is not too lengthy. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the corners. Those are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. If you have a 1 1/4 square punch, use it. We don't have it anymore, but you may have it. Otherwise, just cut it on your paper trimmer. Okay, and I'm going to leave these blank for now, and you can certainly leave them blank. And then when I open this next, okay, I will show you the next step. Okay, so I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, and now I'm going to put some designer series paper in here. And so now I'm going to use these. I love this paper. So this is all from that Flowers and More pack. And then I have some more DSP. And I'm going to adhere these. So you see, I'm not doing a whole lot of stamping. I'm really using more Diner Series paper than anything. But wait till you see when it's finished. It's so neat. It's one of these cards that you almost can't put down. You just keep playing with it because it's so unique, and you're like, how does that work? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue these. I didn't think there was that much glue in that bottle. It's like the never-ending glue. Infinity glue. I would love that. If I had an infinity glue, never ended. Never have to buy another bottle. Okay. And then we have one more. And the last one I'm going to do is do a little stamping on also. Okay, so I'm going to flip this. And I'm going to do a little stamping on this square. So this is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Then I have some more Designer Series papers. So on this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp that flower again. Now this would be kind of where I would write my, you know, my sentiment. Like, hey, you know, whatever. And sign it. So I'm going to put that up high. And I'm going to put the leaf kind of out of the way so I have room to sign it. Even though that's pretty pale, I could sign over it. Sometimes looks cool. Okay. I'm also, while I'm doing some stamping, I'm going to stamp a few little words from the stamp set. One of them is hello and hooray, it's your day. So I'm going to use Orchid Oasis for this. I'm going to do hello first. Oh, well, that's not very good, Trevis. That's much better. And then, hooray, it's your day. Right there. And I'm going to trim this out. Like a little fishtail at the end. And then with this one, I do have a circle punch. And this is a 1.5 inch circle punch. And I don't know if I think this is retired. I know it's retired, and I don't think it's come back. It may come back, but it's not come back yet. Ooh, this is really tight. Barely made it. Okay, so we have those done. All right, we have all our stamping done. Okay, so bring this back in. Okay, so this was our last piece that we did. No, it wasn't that one. So hang on a second. It gets a little confusing, and I don't want to confuse you. Okay. Okay, so we had this. Okay. Now we're going to do the inside, which is this. So I am going to glue my sentiment piece at the bottom. I think I'll put it on the top. Should I put it on the top or the bottom? I'll put it on the top. Doesn't really matter. I kind of like it when this gets low because then it doesn't squish out like mega squeeze and just. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put glue on these. So these are 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. There are 4 of them, and they are all the same size. 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. Oh, put my finger right in the glue. Ever done that? Yes, I do it all the time. Usually I don't glue 4 things and have them ready like that for that very reason, because now I have gluey fingers. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is go back to this, and I want to add these 2 little sentiments that see how sticky my fingers are? Ugh, do not like it. I'm not going to use any dimensionals. I could use dimensionals, but I'm not going to. This is the last piece. Hello. And hooray, it's your day. Okay, are you ready for the infinity part of the card? Okay, so it opens, and then it just goes again. Opens. Just keeps going. Isn't that cute? I love it. I hope you like it too. So when you're finished with your card, it is a 6x6 card, and you would need to use a bigger envelope if you're going to mail it. If you're going to hand it to somebody and watch them do it, it's really fun. So hope you enjoyed this card today. My name's Trevis Bossler. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Louis, Missouri. And if you would share and like my video, that would be awesome. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.